It's been a few days, and some things have happened at the office since I wrote about it. Lately, I've begun to notice that those masked guys haven't appeared at all. There's been no car, no people coming into and out of the manhole. No anything, really. With this, I was both happy and concerned. Happy that I didn't have to see those weirdos anymore, but concerned when I thought a bit on this and asked myself, why did they suddenly stop? Were they a bunch of criminals preparing, say, a robbery or something like that, and using a manhole to plan something? Were they some kind of cult using the manhole to enter a lair where they practice all kinds of depraved rituals? Were they just some punks who thought it would be funny to play some creepy prank on people? This is not even mentioning the fact that I still don't know who it was that both got into my office and placed a note there multiple times. Regardless of my views on the situation, I decided that there was nothing I could do about it at the moment. I just went back to work and hoped that whoever they were, they wouldn't come back. Thus, with regards to the strangers in the masks, I was fine. However, things began to get worse in the past few days. The real reason I'm writing this is to calm myself down and to better process just exactly what I saw that day. What I saw was the culmination of a series of noises that I began to hear the day after the people in the masks stopped appearing. The noises that I heard were faint at first, but as time went on, they began to sound almost exactly like what a rat in the wall would sound like. I have rats in the walls of my house, and the scratching was nearly similar, so I didn't really feel bothered by it. However, as time went on, the scratching got way worse. When it first started, it was just some light scratching. Afterwards, it started getting way louder, as if somebody was trying to dig its way out of the wall. Then it turned into pounding, which turned into thrashing, as if somebody was trying to crash their way through the wall. It wasn't just isolated to the walls, though. It spread to the ceiling and the floor. In fact, several coworkers openly complained about just what was making all of this noise. Ron was naturally trying to be as unhelpful as possible, saying that the complaints weren't all that bad or they were just being dealt with. As the noises were getting louder and louder, apparently Ron couldn't just stand by and ignore it. As a result, an exterminator was hired to deal with the rats. The following day, the exterminator arrived. I recall Ron looking a bit concerned as he led the dude to the basement area of the office. I believe that the constant noises would finally cease once the exterminator was done. However, after around an hour or so, I heard what was probably the loudest shriek that I have ever heard anyone make. I checked to see what's going on, and I see the exterminator straight up barreling right out the door into the parking lot. He drives off, practically hitting the rest of the cars in the parking lot in his haste to get out. Naturally, the office starts asking just what happened, and Ron says how he found out that the exterminator was in fact suffering from acute schizophrenia, and that he would try and find a better exterminator afterward. While the rest of the people at the office seemed to just go along with it, Nick had other ideas. He went on his usual rambling about how the man must have seen something other than rats to have freaked out like that. Nick's ideas went from government experiments to dead bodies in the basement. I humored him, but ultimately hoped that the scratching problem would be dealt with soon. The day after, I arrived to work and found my office completely trashed. My desk and chair were broken and lying in pieces all over the floor, and these giant holes were all over the room. I figured it was the rats who finally broke through and messed up my room. However, that was until I thought about how they would be able to break the chair and table. That thought was ended when I still heard some scratching coming from the walls. I braced myself for what I believed to be a rat. However, what I actually saw still haunts me. As I stood at the edge of the room preparing for a rat, what I saw was not a rat, but rather looked like some type of spider. only it looked like it was completely made of shadow. It had 4 legs, but the legs looked like some sick combination of vines and muscle. The worst part was its face. The thing had what looked to be a human face. However, there were no eyes, only giant black pits where the eyes should have been. It had looked like what a jaw full of canine teeth and the rest of its face looked like, all distorted. And it stretched through, it was merely wearing an imitation of what a human face should look like. The thing quickly scurried it into one of its holes and ran off. Naturally, I got the hell out of there and tried to tell people what I saw. Naturally, they were skeptical, but seeing the condition of my office made people consider that it was at least some animal that had managed to get in the office late at night. I was given the day off in order to determine where I could remain temporarily until my office is fixed. I still don't know what the hell that thing was, but I don't feel really all that secure anymore.